Have you ever purchased multitracks from multitracks.com and seen that they offer two different file types? They offer WAV files as well as M4A files. Now, if you're anything like me, you see this and you can't help but notice that the M4A files are just a little bit cheaper than the WAV files. And so you're like, why don't I just save a few bucks and go with the M4A files? Well, in this quick tip video, I want to help you understand why that actually might not be a good idea. So there are three main differences between these two file types. Number one, file size. Number two, audio quality. And number three, what happens when you drop it in a DAW. So starting with number one, M4A files are actually smaller than WAV files. Most of us know this. WAV files are larger. Number two, sound quality. Because of the file size difference, WAV files have more data, which means that the audio quality is going to be just a little bit better. Does it make an actual difference that's audible to the listener? You know, some people I'm sure can tell, some people might not be able to tell, so it's might not be a big deal for some people. Number three, this is really the big potatoes thing for me, in my opinion. Now, let me show you what I've got here. I have a click track that is an M4A file, and I have the same exact click track that is a WAV file. This is from the same song, purchased from multitracks.com. The M4A was purchased first, and then later on, I upgraded to the WAV version. So I have both of them. And in this particular Ableton Live set, I have the BPM set correctly as well as the time signature for this particular song. And now at first glance, you see that everything looks great. It doesn't look like there's any differences until you start to zoom in. And you quickly notice that the M4A click track doesn't actually fall right on the beat. It's just a little bit after. And the WAV file is just like you'd expect, it's right on the beat. So who cares? What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is this. For the M4A files, all of the instruments are going to be just like this. They're going to fall exactly where this click falls, just after the beat and not on it. So the big deal is this: if you want to use it in a different click, if you want to use Ableton's click, or if you want to have some sort of custom click that you're dropping in on your own, or if you want to start warping and changing the tempo and potentially the key, depending on what song you're doing or whatever, you're just going to start to run into some issues because if you're using your own click but you're using M4A tracks, that means your click is going to be perfect on the beat, but your tracks are going to be just a little bit off of the beat. And so it's always going to feel like you're almost perfectly on, but it's just a little bit off. And so it starts to introduce some problems. I wanted to give you some audio samples of what this would sound like with, you know, these two clicks together. So first I'm going to play the M4A click. So you don't notice anything because it's by itself, and if you're using M4A tracks in the click, then you're all good to go. But if you start playing with WAV files, then there you go. That doesn't sound good. M4A with Ableton click, it's going to be the same story. And then I'll play the Ableton click with the WAV file. This is what you want. The clicks are right on top of each other. The click just felt like it got beefier instead of it being two distinct sounds. You can still hear the two distinct sounds, but they're right on top of each other. So, in my opinion, the WAV file is the way to go. If we are just now meeting, my name is Matthew, and I really hope that this video answered your question, added value to you, took weight off your shoulders so that you can focus more on your message and less on some of the frustrating details. I know because I deal with it all the time. I'm in your corner and I'm with you. It's why I make content. I would love it if you would subscribe to this YouTube channel. I also create content on my Instagram account. I have a blog and a podcast as well. And my mission is to help you discover the person that you were born to be so that you can share the message and the light and the gift that you have been given. Let's be good stewards of our gift and cultivate it together.